The United States isn't waiting. We are resolving to take action. Not only our federal government, but our cities and our states all across our country. Scientists tell us that this is the decisive decade. This is the decade we must make decisions that will avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis.
A big pledge for an even bigger problem. But on this Earth Day, we ask, can the U.S. follow through on President Biden's ambitious goal to cut emissions in half by the end of the decade? And does America have credibility to lead the urgent push to protect our planet?
Have we lost higher ground in the global climate discussion, out then back into the Paris Agreement?
Well, there's no question that we have to come back eating a lot of humble pie.
Our conversation with the first White House climate advisor, Gina McCarthy. And this Earth Day, meet climate migrants, the new faces of immigration, illustrating the dire nature of our climate emergency, our journey to Guatemala.
And this is what one of those devastated crops look like. The farmers in this region tell us that they've lost about 95% of the corn here. Now, that is the main staple. And this field used to feed everybody in this village, but no more. Now the people here go hungry.
Tonight, we are hearing from an alternate juror in the Derek Chauvin trial.
I didn't think it would affect me as much as it has. It was emotional. It was draining.
On the eve of that key vaccine meeting that could pave the way to unpause the J&J vaccine, there are growing questions tonight about vaccine hesitancy, even if regulators pave the way to restart that vaccine. A 51st state, the House votes to make Washington, D.C. a state, but tonight many are saying, don't hold your breath, why this measure is likely dead on arrival in the Senate. And our conversation with Wonder Woman Gal Gadot, why she says you will not want to miss her latest project.
The world since forever been dominated with male stories. With this one, I just wanted to give the stage to my sisters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us. It was Jane Goodall who once said, what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make. This Earth Day, President Biden has pledged to try to make a difference. But as many are pointing out, lofty goals to slash our emissions in half by the end of the decade will take buy-in from Americans from all walks of life across every industry. Today, the president convened a virtual climate summit, urging world leaders like China that the time to act is now and that the U.S. cannot do it alone. In many places, the impacts of climate change are now impossible to overlook. We'll take you to Guatemala in a moment, where the climate emergency is one of the things forcing people to leave behind everything they've ever known. Back here in the U.S., testifying at a virtual hearing in Congress today, youth climate activist Greta Thunberg urged lawmakers to stop ignoring the climate crisis. Our Mary Bruce leads us off with more on President Biden's global call to arms to save the planet.
In a sharp departure from the previous administration, President Biden today sending a clear message to the world on climate change, saying America is back.
But the cost of inaction keeps mounting. The United States isn't waiting. We are resolving to take action.
Calling it a moral imperative, Biden announcing a new lofty goal to cut carbon emissions from record high 2005 levels in half by the end of the decade. The target to reach net zero emissions by 2050.
This is the decade we must make decisions that will avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis.
Biden today hosting a virtual summit with world leaders, putting to the test his hope that he can cooperate on this issue with rivals like Russia and China. But the White House has been short on specifics for how they'll meet this new emissions goal.
Can you put this into further perspective for Americans? How does this new reduction target impact their everyday lives?
There are steps that industries are already taking, investing in the future of electric vehicles. This is already where the jobs are in the future.
While the president hopes to make some of this a reality through executive actions and his proposed $2 trillion infrastructure plan, if Congress doesn't act, a future president could just move to reverse it. On the Hill today, climate activist Greta Thunberg taking lawmakers to task.
We can talk as much as we want, as long as we don't take real, bold action right now, reducing the emissions at the source, then it doesn't really mean anything.
Mary Bruce joins us now from the White House. Mary, Greta Thunberg also expressed skepticism to Congress today about any meaningful bills, saying, I don't believe for a second that you will actually do this. What can the White House feasibly do without help from Congress?
Well, Lindsay, I asked the White House really this exact question. How are they going to reach these goals if Congress doesn't cooperate? Now, the White House insists the president has multiple pathways to get this done, including some executive actions. But of course, if you go that route, then there's always the concern that a future president could just try and take steps to undo or reverse these new targets. The White House, though, insists that they are not as concerned about that because they say the world is changing. The markets are forcing a lot of the change here, and that it will be increasingly difficult for a future president to try and reverse some of these new goals.
And at the global summit today, Biden also put a lot of the onus on other countries to step up and make bold goals as well.
This is a true global effort. And the president, of course, is also testing, right, this theory that he can work with those rivals like Russia and China on these issues, even though they disagree on so many other areas. The next question then becomes, how do you hold these other countries accountable? How do you make sure that everyone meets these targets? Are there any consequences for falling short? The White House says this is one of the issues that they hope to hammer out at an upcoming summit that the UN is holding this fall in Glasgow. Lindsay.
Mary Bruce reporting in for us from the White House. Thanks so much, Mary. For some, climate change is about the threat of future challenges. For others, it's altering their world now. Thousands of migrants, as you know, are flocking to our southern border, many fleeing violence and poverty. But there are also thousands fleeing growing climate emergency. Matt Gutman is in Guatemala for us and has a report about these new climate refugees.
High above these unforgiving fields outside of Hocotan, Guatemala, is the clump of mud huts Leocadia Diaz has called home for 90 years now. There, surrounded by her dozens of descendants, she weaves those mats. It takes 3 days to make a single one. The skill takes years to learn. She taught her daughters and the kids their traditions passed down for generations. When we meet her outside her daughter's home, her face lights up when we ask about the crops they used to have here. The crops have shriveled, and many of the young men have left. All those little grandkids take us to the family fields, and they show us the stunted corn. This is the village's cornfield. They're spread all over the hillside here. You can see the stalks that are left, and just the stunted corn that's here. When they don't have rain, and then they have 2 hurricanes coming in, this is what's left. It's a common sight in what's called the dry corridor, a swath of drought-battered land covering parts of Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. And what's happening here is mirrored the world over. The poorest communities are often living perilously close to the edge, on subsistence rations that depend on the compliance of increasingly erratic weather patterns. It has contributed to a 500% increase in migration from 2010 to 2015. Droughts over the past decade have decimated Leocadia's land. Her family is among the 3.5 million people in the dry corridor in desperate need of humanitarian assistance. And the droughts are transforming what was once one of the world's most fertile regions permanently.
El problema no solo se traduce a las condiciones o a los efectos del cambio climático, sino también a los efectos que está teniendo este cambio climático en la agricultura y obviamente los efectos que está teniendo la baja productividad agrícola en el desarrollo socioeconómico de las poblaciones. Creo que en menos de 20 años vamos a tener totalmente un área declarada como desértica, totalmente desértica. ¿Verdad? Desértica en términos de que los suelos no son productivos.
Agricultural engineer Circe Cordon took us to one of those fields. And she says the only way the region can survive is if the farmers and their children learn sustainable agriculture. And this is what one of those devastated crops look like. The farmers in this region tell us that they've lost about 95% of the corn here. Now, that is the main staple. And this field used to feed everybody in this village, but no more. Now the people here go hungry. That's because the land Leocadia has loved has become hostile. The roads to the villages here are as unforgiving as the soil. It's why many are still forced to haul cane or wood the old way, on their backs. Those roads are a huge obstacle in getting produce to the market. And it was on one of those dirt tracks just below the village that we watched men load palm fronds onto the overloaded pickup. Future roofs for houses. Children with those machetes gathered around to watch, and they used slingshots to fell still unripened green mangoes. Lunch. For breakfast, they tell us, they have beans. They show us their slingshots. ¿Qué comes? ¿Qué comes? ¿Frijoles? Okay. ¿Y para cena? ¿Tortilla? ¿Solo tortilla? ¿Con algo o solamente tortilla? ¿Con sal? Sometimes they'll catch a bird, they say, and eat it. Malnutrition is endemic here in Guatemala. Nearly half of the children here are stunted because of it. So Nelson is 11, Eileen is 12, and they are about the size of my 6-year-old. The head of this village tells me he knows the kids are hungry.
Yo conozco varios niños que están aquí que viven en crisis. Tal vez han comido un tiempo ahorita.
Since they can no longer rely on crops for food, they need money. And for that, many head north. It's why the head of the village estimates that about 60% of his villagers intend on leaving for the United States. Isabel Hernandez Lopez's children are lucky. They've eaten chicken before, but not in the past year or two. These days, it's the ubiquitous beans and tortillas. As his girls boil that cauldron of beans on their outside stove, he tells me he's got 10 kids, but one of them is gone. That's his 17-year-old son, who crossed into the U.S. about 2 weeks ago. He's now in New Jersey. But the cost has been enormous.
¿Cuánto costan los coyotes para el viaje?
De 100,000 para adelante.
¿Qué vas a hacer si tu hijo no puede pagar el dinero?
Entregar lo que uno tiene, por ejemplo, un terrenito ahí. Si nosotros no conseguimos el dinero para pagar, entregar el terrenito o la casa.
Before their droughts, their acre-and-a-half farm would provide enough beans and corn for the family. Now, to avoid starvation, his kids weave these small wicker baskets for a local bottler for about $21 a week. But a week's supply of corn costs the family about $20 a week. He tells me this life is untenable, which is why, as soon as his son repays the loan sharks, he's also headed northward. I asked whether he'll miss his family. He said he'll miss them terribly, but he wants to offer them a better life. To survive, those who stay will have to adapt. Children here are now learning new techniques, sustainable agriculture. And today, to mark Earth Day, ecologist Circe Cordon has brought kids to this barren land to teach them a new skill. This is called seed bombing. Instead of planting each seed independently, which they've been doing for generations, they scatter each seeded mud clump widely, hoping the runoff from those much-needed rains finds the seeds and nourishes them. Each fistful containing the seeds of survival and perhaps hope that one day this part of the earth may again be healthy enough to feed its young. Matt Gutman in Hocotan, Guatemala for ABC News.
And for those who are wondering, that translation, about $100,000 Guatemalan quetzal is nearly 13,000 U.S. dollars. Our thanks to Matt Gutman for that. A decision on whether or not to continue the pause in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine could be known within the next 24 hours. But just because we have access to more vaccines doesn't necessarily mean more shots will be administered. ABC's Steve Osinsami is in Atlanta for us.
Any future use of the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine could be decided tomorrow by a CDC advisory panel. Because it's a single shot, it's become an important tool in fighting the coronavirus.
We need to make a decision quickly, and I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to use the vaccine soon.
U.S. health officials put use of the vaccine on hold after 6 women developed rare blood clots after getting the shot. Tomorrow, they could continue with that hold or join health officials in Europe, who just days ago decided that the benefits outweigh the risks and have cleared the vaccine to be used with a safety warning. Across the country, it appears fewer people are rushing to get immunized, with thousands of appointments sitting empty and some vaccination places shutting down.
When 16 and older opened, I did expect a rush, and it never materialized.
For the first time in weeks, the daily average of shots put into arms has fallen below 3 million doses a day.
Obviously, there is an element of vaccine hesitancy or concern that we need to address.
The scientists have put together this map. The areas in darker blue show where Americans are resisting the vaccine the most. In Boston, they're trying hard to get black and brown communities vaccinated, setting aside 20,000 doses.
We know the Latinx, Hispanic community is lagging behind. We need to share information. We need to make it easy for them to make an appointment to get vaccinated, and that's what we're doing.
With more Americans getting more immune, there's a new debate over rules requiring face masks. In New York City, for example.
If you want to get rid of the masks, if you want to get rid of the social distancing, if you want to get rid of the restrictions, go get vaccinated.
Scientists at the CDC today announced that they might actually revisit their guidelines on outdoor masks.
We will be looking at the outdoor masking question, but it's also in the context of the fact that we still have people who are dying of COVID.
And so we will await guidance on that outdoor masking. Steve Osunsami joins us now from outside of the CDC. And Steve, there's new information from the head of the CDC about the effectiveness of the vaccines. What can you tell us?
Well, there's a bit of discussion now about what they're calling breakthrough infections, and those are infections that happen to people who've already been vaccinated. The CDC says that a new study tells them that if you've gotten one of these infections and you've been vaccinated, that your symptoms are going to be milder and, Lindsay, you are less likely to spread the disease to someone else. Lindsay?
So still some good news there. Steve, our thanks to you.
It is.
We turn now to yet another police-involved killing. 16-year-old Ma'Khia Bryant shot dead by Columbus, Ohio police officer Nicholas Reardon. Tonight, investigators are examining police-worn body camera footage as well as video taken from a neighbor's security camera showing Ma'Khia appearing to hold a knife and then lunging at someone wearing pink. Officer Reardon fires a burst of deadly shots. We're joined now by ABC's Trevor Ault. Thanks so much for joining us, Trevor. What's the latest on the investigation into Ma'Khia's death?
Thanks for having me, Lindsay. Today we got a few different, more well-rounded views of what happened in this shooting. One of them, that surveillance footage from the neighbor across the street. He was a witness only in hearing the shots, but his security cameras captured the incident as it unfolded. And another video was released by the city police, and those are the dash cam videos from the officers as they arrived on scene. And it is worth noting, Lindsay, that there wasn't a lot of new information revealed by these new videos because the city and the police department took that unprecedented step to release some of the body camera footage within just a few hours after this fatal shooting. And so we have a fairly good understanding of what was seen there as this was playing out, as Ma'Khia Bryant is seen on that video with a knife in her hand, appearing to lunge at another young girl. And that's when the officer, Nicholas Reardon, opens fire, fires 4 shots. An officer tried to perform CPR, and then she later died at the hospital. The city says they are committed to transparency, they are committed to accountability, and they're going to continue to keep the public informed. For now, though, it seems we've got our hands on those videos. We have a general idea of what happened, but the investigation is going to play out separately to determine whether or not this shooting was justified, Lindsay.
It does seem like there's a real attempt at transparency here, Trevor. What are police saying, though, at this point as far as an explanation?
Well, as part of that police accountability, Lindsay, right now there's very little that the Division of Police can say in regards to this specific shooting. That's because this investigation is being carried out independently by the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, which is an agency under the state attorney general. So at least so far, there are not a lot of committed answers that the interim police chief could give us about even who called 911 or what started this entire altercation. However, the most pertinent fact and the most pertinent statement likely that the interim chief of police was able to say is in regards to department policy, and that is if there is a presence of a deadly threat either toward an officer or toward a third party, that officer is authorized to fire their weapon and they are authorized to use deadly force. Now, it's going to be up to the BCI to determine whether or not that was in fact the case here. It does appear on the video that Ma'Khia Bryant had that knife, was lunging at another girl, and could possibly have been considered a lethal threat, but that will be up to those independent investigators to decide.
Yeah, still a lot to get into there in that city. Trevor, our thanks to you. And when we come back, new insight into what members of the prospective jury were thinking during the Chauvin trial, the moment one alternate says help make up her mind about the case. And wait until you see this story. A couple tries to hold a fancy wedding inside a lavish house, a house they did not own. What the owner of that house did when he found out. But up next, we helped negotiate the climate deal. Then we left the agreement. Now we're back in. How the world view of our sincerity in tackling the climate crisis.
With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
Admit it, these days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, Michael Strahan. Wake up with America's #1 most watched morning show. ABC's
Good Morning America.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source. Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True Crime 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
There has been another massive eruption on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent, this time ash and smoke blasting 4 miles into the air. 20,000 people were evacuated when the volcano first exploded about a month ago. The Prime Minister says a third of the island is now a, quote, relative wasteland. This Earth Day, the White House says meaningful changes about opportunity, not asking people to sacrifice. But has the U.S. lost some of its standing after withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement only to rejoin again under President Biden? Our Ginger Z traveled to Washington, D.C. to put these questions to the first ever White House climate advisor, Gina McCarthy.
Have we lost higher ground in the global climate discussion? Out, then back into the Paris Agreement. Here we are. You know, it's tough to come back after you roll back a bunch of grandfather of environmental laws.
It is. Well, there's no question that we have to come back eating a lot of humble pie.
Gina McCarthy says that America is ready to listen, learn, and lead again.
I have heard you use the term, this is not about the planet, it's about people.
Yeah.
How and what will you prioritize so that we can make the biggest dent in this crisis for people?
Well, it's not that we won't look to reduce greenhouse gas emissions that cause climate, but I think the point that I'm trying to make here is that we can do it in a way that benefits people now. We can do it in a way that looks at health benefits, particularly for the environmental justice communities that have been hammered by pollution far too long, less investment than being made than in other communities. And we can look at opportunities to actually bring new solutions solutions to the table that will show people that it's possible to win this battle, and that the way to win it are things that are going to be better for us.
And I imagine within the $2 trillion of infrastructure, those are the examples. Who's going to get the jobs first?
We've got to do a lot of electric infrastructure work there to get them clean by 2035. But the most important thing, I think, that President Biden is really focused on is that if we do this right, we're going to grow a lot of jobs.
I just got back from the only commercially operating lithium mine in the United States. We don't have but one. I know that more are planned.
That's right.
How do we do it right this time while doing it fast?
So this is about being smart. Really, it is about a whole-of-government approach, and it's working with cities and states that have been busting their butts for the past 5 years to catch up when the federal government wasn't engaged. And I think we can continue to work with them, and if we do it right on the job side, people are going to get excited. They're going to look for the innovation, not worry that it's too small. And that's what we have to do.
Take me into the conversations at the White House. How often does President Biden talk to you about climate change, and what does he say?
You know, we do have a leader that understands that this is an intersectional issue, that the issues of the pandemic, the issues of economic development that we have to face and move forward on, that issues of the climate crisis and the racial issues can all come together if we're smart enough to not act like bureaucrats, but instead act like we're serving whole people, not just portions of what their considerations are. So these conversations are being had not to question the direction that we have or whether climate change is real.
Right.
It's really just all about what do we do now, how do we escalate it, how do we work with the private sector to make sure that the scope and pace is as fast as it can be. And then it's all a framing of hope and opportunity. This is not sacrifice. Sacrifice doesn't pay.
No.
I don't know about you, Ginger, but go around and ask people what they want to give up. You won't get a lot of answers, but ask them what they want to get, and they'll tell you. And this is what they should want to get.
So she says no sacrifice involved there. Our thanks to Ginger, and you can catch Ginger's entire It's Not Too Late Earth Day special streaming tonight right after Prime here on ABC News Live. Still ahead here on Prime, the Senate, with the notable exception of Missouri Republican Josh Hawley, all back a new anti-hate bill focused on the attacks against Asian Americans. But what's in it, and can it make a difference? Our conversation with actress Gal Gadot about her new project that profiles extraordinary women. And what is the state of our planet? We take a look by the numbers, but first, our tweet of the day.
Of course, we welcome all efforts to safeguard present and future living conditions, and these targets could be a great start if it wasn't for the fact that they are full of gaps and loopholes, like leaving out.
Climate activist Greta Thunberg shares her thoughts on the climate summit goals announced today.
Shipping and the burning of biomass.
I know what happened, and I'm not guilty.
Why the fascination with criminal trials? Figure out what's really out there.
She revealed she had murdered his family.
I know in my heart they did this.
It's the time of suspicion.
The ending's really tough.
You don't know whether truth is going to be difficult to find unless you try to find it.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown Hate, The War Among Us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know
seems to change just about every day.
What is it that you really want to know, need to know?
To help you not just get through your day,
but to make the most of it. Feel smarter.
Feel better.
Feel happier.
Well, how about a third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon?
GMA 3, what you need to know. Lunchtime at 1 Eastern, 12 Central and Pacific on ABC. It's all about you.
Towers, Assault on the Capitol, the ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu, now streaming. With so much at stake, so much on the line, more Americans turn here than any other newscast. ABC News World News Tonight with David Muir.
We have made it through another week together.
America's #1 most watched newscast across all of television.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, Michael Strahan. Wake up with America's #1 most watched morning show. ABC's
Good Morning America.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
Welcome back, everyone. On this Earth Day, we take a look by the numbers at energy use and carbon dioxide emissions across the planet, which are, of course, key drivers of man-made climate change. Global energy demand is set to increase by 4.6% in 2021, which would more than offset the 4% contraction in energy demand during 2020, when much of the world, of course, went into lockdown because of COVID-19. Demand for all fossil fuels is on the rise, with coal predicted to spike 4.5% in 2021. Worldwide, carbon dioxide emissions so destructive to our planet are expected to increase 4.8% this year, according to the International Energy Agency. President Biden and other world leaders hope to reverse this trend, with Biden setting a goal of 50 to 52% reduction in the country's net greenhouse gas emissions. That's below 2005 levels over the coming decade. And finally, the UN Climate Panel says global greenhouse gas emissions need to drop 45% below 2010 levels during the next 10 years in order to meet the Paris Agreement's goal of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And we still have lots to get to here on Prime tonight. The new problem with some Boeing 737 MAX planes. Thousands across Russia defy a ban on protests as opposition leader Alexei Navalny struggles to stay alive. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
We will guide you through it all tonight. We have made it through another week together.
Big hug,
We tell all our patients how much they're loved. We hold their hands.
David, we're showing our love and support for all the ICU staff.
They're the heroes in this.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner for the second straight year with the Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news source.
This is GMA3, what you need to know. GMA3.
A third hour of Good Morning America in the afternoon.
It's all about you. Lunchtime on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown Hate, The War Among Us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Friday nights, 9/8 Central. True crime, cinematic, real-life drama, stunning, the unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9/8 Central on ABC.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
President Biden using Earth Day to reestablish America as a leader in fighting climate change.
You know, these steps will set America on a path of net zero emissions economy by no later than 2050.
Biden hosting 40 world leaders for a virtual climate summit, announcing a goal for the country to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by half within the next 10 years. The president's goal is for countries who are the biggest makers of pollution, like China, to make major change too.
The truth is, America represents less than 15% of the world's emissions. All of us, and particularly those of us who represent the world's largest economies, we have to step up.
On the Hill today, climate activist Greta Thunberg taking lawmakers to task.
The fact that we are still having this discussion, and even more that we are still subsidizing fossil fuels directly or indirectly using taxpayer money, is a disgrace.
Electrical problems with Boeing 737 MAX jets may be bigger than first thought. The FAA has now notified airlines that it is still trying to identify the scope of the troubles. 106 of the jets were grounded again 2 weeks ago on worries about a backup power control unit. 71 of those planes are owned by U.S. airlines.
In Russia, protesters took to the streets in support of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny.
Those protests with over 1,000 arrests came in response to calls from Navalny's allies who have said he's dangerously ill in prison while on a hunger strike. The 44-year-old's doctors say if he continues his strike any longer, he will likely die. In an open letter published by an independent Russian site, his doctors say Navalny's medical tests show he's already at severe risk of brain damage or even slipping into a coma. Russia's prison service has insisted his condition is satisfactory. On Sunday, moving him to a hospital at a different nearby prison, where he's been given a glucose drip, according to his lawyers.
The push to vaccinate, along with stimulus checks and reopenings, led to fewer jobless claims last week.
For a second straight week, the number of first-time jobless claims declined to a new pandemic low of 547,000. That's still historically high, as is the number of people receiving some form of unemployment benefit, more than 17 million. Layoffs appear to be subsiding, though, and economists have hope April will be a strong month of job growth as a reopening economy unleashes pent-up demand.
The pandemic driving other issues, including truck driver shortages. That's leading to a rise in prices on basic goods, including diapers, toilet paper, and grocery staples.
A wedding in Fort Lauderdale where the bride and groom were the actual wedding crashers.
I have people trespassing on my property.
A couple invited a whole bunch of people to a mansion, telling all their guests that a wedding would be there.
Courtney Wilson and Shanita Jones had invited their family and friends to watch them exchange vows at their dream home. Problem was, they didn't own the home.
When guests started to arrive, the real owner, Nathan Finkel, who's heir to the IHOP restaurant fortune, was shocked.
They keep harassing me, calling me, and they say they're having a wedding here, and it's God's message, and I don't know what's going on. All I want is to stop.
The house is for sale by the owner. It's on the market for more than $5 million.
Courtney Wilson apparently posed as a potential buyer and even asked the homeowner if they could hold their wedding there, but was told no.
But instead of exchanging vows, the couple exchanging words with police, who were called to the scene and told Wilson to leave. He did, and no charges were filed.
For the first time, we're starting to get some insight into what an alternate juror in the Derek Chauvin trial was thinking, along with the emotional toll of being inside that courtroom. All of this as Daunte Wright's family gives him their final farewell just a few miles down the road. ABC's Stephanie Ramos brings us the latest from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota.
Tonight, an alternate juror in the trial of Derek Chauvin is speaking out.
I didn't think it would affect me as much as it has. It was emotional. It was draining.
For Lisa Christensen, the hours of evidence, the videos of Derek Chauvin interacting with George Floyd are still seared into her mind.
It was overwhelming, and then to see it day after day, over and over again. It never got any easier.
Christensen saying she sat across from Chauvin in the courtroom.
I did lock eyes with him a couple of times, and it was a little uncomfortable. No intent on any messages or anything going back and forth.
And in her mind, the most essential witness was Dr. Tobin.
I feel like he could actually point out going through the video and saying, hey, at this first instance right here is when Mr. Floyd lost his life.
After hearing testimony from 45 witnesses, she says she had come to an opinion, but as an alternate, she was not present for the jury's deliberations.
My opinion was I felt Mr. Chauvin was guilty at some level, but without applying the instructions, I don't know what I would have decided upon.
And then there was the verdict.
We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty.
And while she felt that Chauvin was guilty at some level, she was surprised that he was found guilty on all 3 charges.
I was amazed that it was guilty on all 3 charges.
Christensen says she has yet to visit the memorial at George Floyd Square.
At some point, I would like to go down there. That would be my closure and tell Mr. George Floyd hopefully we made him proud.
Last week, just 15 miles away from that square where George Floyd was killed, 20-year-old Daunte Wright died at the hands of a police officer. The family of George Floyd paying their respects today at Wright's funeral. The young father eulogized by the Reverend Al Sharpton.
You thought he was just some kid with air freshener. He was a prince. And all of Minneapolis has stopped today to honor the Prince of Brooklyn Center.
His parents saying goodbye to their beloved son.
My son should be burying me. He was loved by so many. He's going to be so missed.
My son should be burying me. Such difficult words to hear from that mother. Stephanie Ramos joins us now. And Stephanie, where do things stand at this moment with the Daunte Wright case?
Well, Lindsay, that former Brooklyn Center police officer who shot and killed Daunte Wright on this street behind me, actually, where you see that growing memorial, that officer was charged with second-degree manslaughter, and she's scheduled to appear in court once again next month. Now, Daunte's family says at this point there just isn't any justice, only accountability, and that officer being charged is the very first step in a long legal process. Lindsay.
Yeah, we can imagine. All right, Stephanie Ramos, our thanks to your continued reporting out there. We appreciate it. And now to Washington, where today the U.S. Senate took a stand against anti-AAPI hate crimes. By an overwhelming bipartisan vote of 94-1, the chamber passed a measure aimed at shoring up resources to fight anti-Asian crimes that have surged during the pandemic. Senior Washington correspondent Devin Dwyer covered today's vote from Washington and joins us now. Devin, it's not very often that we see such resounding bipartisan action in the Senate these days.
No, Lindsay, it's not. It's not every day we see Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell on the same page, much less nearly the entire Senate. I think it speaks to the fact that the rise in these hate crimes against the AAPI community have so deeply disturbed so many Americans. As Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, who sponsored the bill, told you just earlier this week, this was a chance for these lawmakers to take a stand against racism, against this hate. They did that today. Only one Republican, Josh Hawley of Missouri, voted no. The bill now heads over to the House. They'll get a vote likely next month. And because of the overwhelming support today, most people here think it has a pretty good chance of becoming law, Lindsay.
And so what would the bill actually do in order to prevent anti-AAPI hate crimes?
Yeah, supporters basically say this does two things. First, it helps law enforcement get a handle on the problem. It would initiate a public education campaign in multiple Asian languages to get members of that community to come forward and to share their stories if they've been victimized. It would also establish some reporting hotlines and create an online tracking system to keep tabs on the number of these cases that are out there. So far, a lot of that data slips through the cracks. Then the law would also prioritize the investigation and prosecution of these anti-Asian hate crimes. It would create a point person at the Justice Department, give more money to local police to train them to help them identify these cases. And get this, Lindsay, the law would even allow courts to require that perpetrators of some of these anti-Asian hate crimes spend time in the communities that they have hurt and offended as part of their restitution. Civil rights groups very happy with this today, even though they are relatively modest steps.
And meanwhile, today the House voted narrowly along party lines to make the District of Columbia our 51st state. Why does that face such an uphill battle in the Senate?
Yeah, I mean, now that Democrats control the White House, they control Congress, we have all this momentum around racial justice in this country. Democrats have been excited about this moment for D.C. statehood. They took a big step today. For decades, of course, residents in this city have paid taxes, but they don't have representation in Congress. Of course, D.C. has one of a population that's larger than some small states in this country. It's really, some see this as a justice issue, but the politics on this, Lindsay, are really tough, and they always have been, and they still are. 45 senators support D.C. statehood right now. It needs 60 votes to pass, as we all know. That includes 10 Republican senators, and no Republicans support D.C. statehood right now. And that's in part because by making D.C. a state, it would almost guarantee 2 more Democratic seats in the U.S. Senate because of the deep blue politics here. It's the same sort of uphill fight that advocates of Puerto Rican statehood are facing at the same time, Lindsay.
All right, Devin Dwyer, thanks so much.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Now to the race against time to find a missing submarine in the Bali Strait near the Indian Ocean. The Indonesian sub disappeared during a torpedo drill with 53 people on board. Authorities say the sub has just enough oxygen to last until Friday afternoon. And now the Pentagon says it will send U.S. air assets to assist in the search. Here's ABC's Chief Global Affairs correspondent, Martha Raddatz.
Tonight, a submarine rescue ship departing a Malaysian naval base to join the desperate search for the lost Indonesian submarine. But with only hours of oxygen left on the sub, it is a race against the clock to find the vessel and the 53 sailors who are on board. The last contact with the sub was in the waters off of the resort island of Bali more than 36 hours ago, after the vessel requested permission for a deeper dive to fire torpedoes for training. The submarine then went silent. A search was quickly launched, but thus far, the only possible sign of the submarine, a wide slick of oil near where it started to descend. The waters there are more than 2,000 feet deep. The submarine's crush depth is around 800 feet, meaning it may have imploded.
Yeah, possible implosion there. Martha Raddatz joins us now. Martha, such a dire situation. What do we know about this submarine?
Well, we know certainly that Indonesia's military is not the most advanced, and this submarine had been in the fleet for about 40 years, since 1981. But the officials there say the sub was fit and certified for use until next March, but clearly something went horribly wrong, Lindsay.
Yeah, clearly. And how rare are submarine accidents or disappearances like this?
They're so rare, but unfortunately survival is very rare, too. I made a list here of submarine accidents. 2019, a fire on board a Russian sub killed 14 crew members, while 5 did survive. An Argentinian sub disappeared in 2017 with all 44 on board losing their lives. And then I think we all remember in 2000, the Russian Kursk submarine sank with 118 on board, and all of them were lost. As for this Indonesian sub, however, Lindsay, even with less than 24 hours to go with their supply of oxygen, and even if it didn't implode, they are hoping for a miracle.
Yeah, of course they are. Martha Raddatz, our thanks to you. And you may have noticed, but food prices at your local supermarket may be going up. And unfortunately, this could just be the beginning of some major price hikes. Our Gio Benitez reports.
Thought you were spending more at the grocery store than ever before? Well, brace yourself. There are even more major price hikes on the horizon. Procter & Gamble announcing they are raising prices on a variety of goods, including senior, female, and baby care.
As the global economy is emerging from a year of recession and the pandemic really hitting every economy really hard, supply chains are coming back online. That's now first showing up in raw material costs. So the companies that sell those items to you end up charging more.
While we don't know the specifics yet, this 27 count of Pampers retails for around $9. A mid to high single percentage increase could see the cost go up by as much as 72 cents per package. Procter's competitor, Kimberly-Clark, a company whose products include Huggies diapers and Scott toilet tissue, also announcing they will raise prices starting in June.
It's a chain reaction. Once they lift their prices, that pretty much gives everyone license to do the same thing.
The Consumer Price Index, which measures how much consumers pay for everyday items, jumped 2.6% over last year. That's the biggest increase in 3 years. It's causing ripple effects in the grocery aisles, everything from Cheerios to peanut butter going up in costs. Analysts say it's not just the price of materials increasing, but also truck driver shortages and issues with freight, like this container ship getting stuck in the Suez Canal. So what can consumers do?
There are store brand goods that are often as good quality or better, and they're going to cost less. So don't go hoarding because you're concerned you're not going to be able to find a product.
All right, so what do you do to save money? Well, as always, there's an app for that. Ibotta, that's going to give you that cash back. And then you have Flip and Basket. Those are going to help you find the best deals in your area. But as always, Lindsay, go ahead and sign up for those coupon emails. You might get them every day, but they're worth it.
And there is always an app for everything. Our thanks to Gio for that. Up next, Gal Gadot and the extraordinary women she profiles in a new project she's about to tell us about. Stay with us.
Now, when it matters most, the straightforward facts. ABC News is America's #1 news. Good Morning America, #1 in the morning, 9 years running. World News Tonight with David Muir, #1 in the evening with America's most watched newscast. 2020, the #1 news magazine on Friday nights. The View, the #1 daytime talk show. And ABC News Live, #1 in streaming news. ABC News is America's #1 news. 24 Hours, Assault on the Capitol. The ABC News original, exclusively on Hulu. Now streaming.
Somewhere out in the country, there's a man.
I'm Bobby.
Doing good things for good people. He'll walk a mile in their shoes, then get them a brand spanking new pair when he's done.
Just wanted you to have this. Thank you.
You name it, he'll try. Even if it breaks him.
Bobby Bones, they're trying to break you.
Oh, great.
Breaking Bobby Bones. New series Monday, May 31st at 10 on National Geographic.
The verdict.
Find the defendant guilty.
The aftermath.
That courtroom, being in there.
Now, powerful new details and interviews.
The one word would probably be shattered.
The breaking new 2020, Friday night on ABC.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
Actress Gal Gadot is a leading lady in blockbuster movies, including the role that made her famous, Wonder Woman. She is also a producer whose latest project, National Geographic presents Impact with Gal Gadot, tells the stories of 6 remarkable women who, despite living in areas impacted by poverty, discrimination, and oppression, are making a difference in their communities. One woman featured is activist Kayla Gore, who is helping homeless trans women find shelter.
Trans femmes would have to conform and sleep in male quarters and vice versa. There's always a heightened sense of violence that can happen to you. So most trans people choose not to use the services of shelters here in Memphis.
Sometimes I had to sleep at abandoned houses like these because that's the only way I knew how to survive.
And Kayla Gore is kind enough to join us now, along with host and executive producer Gal Gadot. Welcome to you both. Before we start, do want to mention that National Geographic, like ABC, is part of the Walt Disney Company. And Gal, tell us about National Geographic Presents Impact with Gal Gadot, which will be streaming on National Geographic's YouTube channel starting on Monday. How did you select the women that you profile in each of the 6 episodes?
First of all, thank you so much for having us. And Kayla, it's so good to see you virtually, but it's so good to see both of you ladies. How was the process of choosing the women? It was hard to choose because they were so. We had to deal and handle, and we did such a deep research, and we found so many amazing stories. And it's kind of hard to choose which one you like best, but we just knew, and we followed our instincts, and along together with Vanessa Roth and Ryan Pulata and Yaron Bersano, my husband, and E1 and National Geographic and everyone involved, it was essentially pretty easy decision to make. And I am completely at awe of all of these ladies. And I adore and I salute them, and I love them deeply for everything that they do and everything that they are.
And Gal, of course, in particular, we're about to meet a trans activist, Kayla Gore of Memphis, Tennessee, who's featured in one of those episodes we just saw. What made Kayla's story in particular stand out to you?
Wow. First of all, I think I fell in love with Kayla herself. I think that, for her, every episode deals with a different theme, with a different subject. And with Kayla, I felt like it was home. And there's something so basic about Kayla was born in the wrong home, in the wrong body. And then not only that she had to evolve and to own who she really is and become the Kayla that she is, but then she had to face with homelessness and not having an actual home. And the fact, it always amazes me that sometimes all we need is just one person to believe in us and to give us a chance. And she got that chance from someone, and now she's the one who's believing in others and giving them the opportunities and empowering them and giving them the most, the most essential thing anybody need, a home. So she's amazing. She's an amazing woman.
And Kayla, you were once homeless, so you founded My Sista's House to help other trans women find food and shelter, like Angelica, who we saw in the clip. This situation has grown even more dire, especially for trans women of color due to the pandemic. What would you say are the greatest needs?
The greatest needs for the trans community, more specifically Black trans women, is safety and security. And that's what we're doing at My Sista's House with the Tiny House Project. Housing and being home, as Gal Gadot said, is essentially what gives a person the ability to move on to the next day and to be able to plan for years to come. And we want to do that for Black trans people, is provide them with safety and security.
And you've done certainly remarkable work through the Tiny House Project to help trans women living on the streets, which you started during the pandemic. Tell us about that and why even a tiny house means so much to someone who's on the street.
So there's so much love put into the creation of these tiny homes, and we're working closely with community and our architectural design firm and our general contractors to make sure that these homes provide exactly what I said, is safety and security for trans people. The reason we decided to do tiny homes was because we wanted to provide this in a great number of ways. We wanted to provide it to a lot of people. And we thought what would drive the cost down would be the construction cost of the square footage, because that's what contractors charge people to build homes. They charge them off the square footage. So we just wanted to make the square footage a little smaller. And our initial idea was to build these homes on the land that we already own at our emergency shelter. But code wouldn't allow that to happen. So we had to think a little bigger, and we thought about tiny homes.
And they get that roof over their head, which is what matters. And lastly, Gal, there's so many heroes among us who you could have featured in Impact with Gal Gadot. Why is it so important to elevate women's voices in particular in this project?
Maybe because I'm a woman and I'm drawn to female-driven stories, and I feel like, you know, the world since forever been dominate with male stories that are amazing and great and inspiring and fantastic. But with this one, I just wanted to give the stage to my sisters and to more women, and to show how essentially we, you know, to show the connectivity between all of us and how big of an impact we can all have.
Gal Gadot and Kayla Gore, we thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
National Geographic presents Impact with Gal Gadot premieres weekly from Monday, April 26th on National Geographic's YouTube channel. And before we go tonight, our image or images of the day, and it's our home. NASA released these beautiful pictures of our planet captured through space. Happy Earth Day, everyone. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us, and we leave you with more images of our planet. Good night.